This is David Brox with Coach Stout at Piper. The Lady Pirates off to a good start so far this season. Talk a little bit about what you've seen so far early in the season and the tournament win you guys just had this last week.
Well, we've had 2 good weeks of practice, and that took us into the tournament at Paola. And I thought Monday night we came out first game Eudora and played really, really well. And then we really kind of struggled on Tuesday. And we're down at halftime to St. James. St. James has a nice team, but we felt like we were a little bit better than them. Ended up outscoring them by 15 points in the second half and took control of that game late. And then Friday night played the Paola girls, which they were undefeated last year until the state championship game. They lost the state title game to Bishop Miege, and then very likely, in my opinion, they won't lose another game this year. Excellent ball club on their home floor. Their home tournament, late night Friday night, and we struggled in the first half a little bit. Again, we didn't play bad, just couldn't put the ball in the hole. Really down 9 at halftime, and then crept back in it and really took over in the fourth quarter. Ended up outscoring them by 15, and excellent victory. Probably the biggest win for our program over just a really excellent team in the last 4 years. I know we've had some good wins to get to the state tournament, but haven't really beat a team that is what I consider, number 1, number 2 ranked team in the state.
And what does that say about where you've been in the program now for a number of years now, that you put your system in and it's starting to bear some fruit and be able to get a win like that?
Well, we've got a bunch of talented girls, and they've bought in, and they just keep working hard, and even though we're down in a game like that, I feel like we've been in that position enough. These 2 girls to my right especially, we've played in state tournament games and championship games of tournaments, and so it could have been very easy to fold. Paola had a huge crowd, and it was loud, and the band and everybody's going, and we're down 9 points. It could have been real easy to just be like, well, it's a good team and we'll take a loss. And so that's what I was probably most pleased with, is that we've put ourselves in that position over the past 4 years to now going into the 5th year that I've been here, but obviously these girls, this is their 4th year, to where we can compete just about with anybody, and we feel like, it doesn't mean we're going to win every single night, but we put ourselves in position to be successful in games like that.
So, Jessica, you come out hot a couple of games now with over 30 points. Talk a little bit about, from a player perspective, what you've seen so far from the team.
We're all working well together, and we're starting to get a feel for whose role it is for everyone, and we're just all kind of putting it together and working well as a team.
So, Lexi, talk a little bit about your senior this year. Talk about some of taking over leadership qualities on the team and help from a leadership perspective.
I don't feel like I'm really a scorer on the team. I'm more of a defender, and I try to keep the players' heads in the game during the game. Try to keep them focused and uplifted.
So you guys jump into league now. Monday you play Baser. So talk a little bit about the importance of getting off to a quick start in league.
Guess I should have introduced. We have Jessica Wayne, senior, and I've got Lexi Owens, a senior, and Riley Peterson, senior. All 3 seniors here, okay. And all 3 are in our starting lineup. And obviously Jessica and Lexi. Jessica's been in the starting lineup since she's been a freshman. Lexi's played a lot of varsity since her freshman year, been in the starting lineup for about 3 years now. And then Riley's been on the varsity team here for since her sophomore year and contributed last year, played a lot of JV last year. But I'll go ahead and let Riley can answer your question about Baser.
Okay.
For Baser, we just need to play every game like it's going to be the championship game. We have to have a great start, just keep our heads in it, and keep the same intensity we've been having for these past few games, and I think we'll do pretty good.
So there's a young player, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. She's been your second leader scorer a couple of games.
Cobbins is.
She's a freshman, so hearing a lot of good things about her. Talk a little bit about her, maybe some other players that have stepped up for you guys so far this year.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't really seem like a freshman. I don't know if these guys think that, but even Friday night, it's just her 3rd game at the high school level in championship game. She had 20 points, knocked down a big 3 in the fourth quarter, got fouled on a 3, stepped the free throw line, and went 3 for 3. So not just 20 points on just easy baskets, but hitting some clutch shots. And she doesn't play like a freshman, that's for sure. She's very capable you know, taking games over. And she's got really good size for a guard. You know, our guards, similar to Jessica, you know, our guards are not small. We've got 5'9", 5'10" guards. And Ryan's about 5'10", and you know, can really play all positions. You know, I like what Jessica kind of said, just gelling as a team. She fits in really well. And, you know, I know Lexi says she's not necessarily a scorer, but Lexi was being a little bit humble there. Lexi was all conference last year and is very capable of scoring. And, you know, but they all do understand that it doesn't matter who scores the basketball. Obviously, it takes points to win. But, you know, overall, she's done a nice job. Also, Lakia Leslie is a freshman who is you know, new to our program this year, and she's come in and did a really nice job. She went 2 for 2 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter in a huge game. You know, these girls only played 3 varsity games in their lives, and in that game, you know, I don't know if these girls will agree, but I think that was the best crowd we've ever played in front of, and it was loud and it was intense. And so for those freshmen to be able to step up already in the first week of the season and contribute is very impressive.
So any of the players can answer this about, you know, what are your goals for this year? You guys been to state a couple of times in your high school careers, but what are your goals for this season?
Well, how many championships was it that
It was 5 possibly.
First, we just want to win like all 5 championships that we can each tournament, and we accomplished our first goal, which was to beat Paola, well, the Paola tournament. We just kind of have this theme going on with our team is that we want to be a great team. You know, we started off when we were freshmen. Piper was an average team, and we kept working it up, a good team. Now we're at the line of being good and great. We beat a great team on a Friday night. So we have a tough sub-state this year. We have Bishop Miege, but, I mean, we're not really intimidated. We just know we have to work hard every day at practice, get better every day at practice, and just play with great intensity and great energy like we did on Friday night.
Do you look that far ahead, or do you knew what the sub-state was with Sumner and then Miege in there? And they won state last year, right, Miege?
Miege has won 48 straight basketball games, so yeah, they've won the state the last 2 years, and they beat us at the state tournament. No, 2 years ago. I take that back. We made the semifinals 2 years ago. Miege was on the other side of the bracket. We got beat up by Wamego, and then Miege won it that year, and then Miege beat us at the state tournament last year, first round, and obviously went on to win it. Do we look that far ahead? I mean, we know who's in our bracket. Exactly what Lexi said. We have a preseason tournament and we have a mid-season tournament. Then we have the KVL, and then we have sub-state and state. Those would be the 5 championships we could win. We won the Paola tournament. We'll worry about Wellsville when we get there. We'll worry about sub-state when we get there. So right now, the next thing that we're really in the mix of is starting the KVL, and tough week this week, both road games, Baser and Bonner. So do we look that far ahead? A little bit. I've got Bishop Miege's schedule, and next week they're playing in the High V shootout, and so I'll probably go watch them since we're off that day. But then I'll take those notes and just kind of put them in a file cabinet somewhere until later in the year. I'm not going to worry about it until the time comes. So yes and no. Obviously, that's the big picture, but we just take it day by day. We've got practice here in a little bit, and we're just worried about, practice in the next hour.
So, Jessica, you're heading into your last year here now. You were our player of the year last year. Talk a little bit about your journey through, starting as a freshman all the way to where you are now.
I feel like I've learned a lot throughout these past 4 years. Coach Stout has helped me a lot as well. And I'm kind of like figuring out what my role is on the team is and how I should be a leader on the team and kind of like lead by example and, bring the intensity on the court, the energy, keep a positive attitude for all the other players and kind of like motivate them and get them going. So, yes.
Okay. All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you for having us, and thanks for doing this
Oh, no
for
problem.
the community.
Absolutely.